What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the latest episode of The.Layup.Line. My name is Dolos, and this is episode 10 of my OKC The Timeline series. The 2022 NBA season has wrapped up. The Thunder finished with a 24-58 record, the 14th place team in the conference, and a bottom 5 record in the league. For a tanking team, this is an expected record. If anything, Thunder fans are likely bummed by not finishing even worse to help their odds at a top 3 pick. To start the year, in my preseason episode, I said the most important thing for this Thunder team to be judged on would be their final lottery odds and their player development through the year. Now that the year is over, let's judge their player development. Last season, I did this in the form of an asset tier for the entire roster, so let's run that back this season and see how it compares. At the top, I have the Untouchables as still just SGA. Maybe others will consider putting Giddey here simply for the fact that he was a recent top pick that's played well means that he won't be moved, but I'm thinking of this more as the best player on the team, all-star, cornerstone type of player. On balance, SGA had a worse season than last year, and that starts with his jumper. He shot considerably worse on threes and his 2-point percentage dropped as well. His scoring efficiency made him a clear all-star last year for me, so I can't lie, it's a little murkier after this one. He dealt with nagging injuries and went into the season coming off of an injury that even held him out of playing for Team Canada in the Olympics. So that needs to be factored in. And in his defense, he picked it up later in the year with his final 13 games flashing some absurd offensive output. The all-star trajectory is still there for me, and it's the foundation of my argument for OKC being a better team than people expect next season. In fact, a lot of this season, OKC has been used as the poster child for tanking, which Thunder fans have rightfully taken offense to, given this is really only their second year doing this, while Detroit, Orlando, Sacramento, and the others have been mediocre and fumbling for a while. OKC was even more competitive this season than people give them credit for. Of their 24 wins, 7 of those came in comebacks after being down 15 points or more. Like last season, if the front office and coaching staff didn't start to really shut players down, they could have messed with their lottery odds more than they needed to. But continuing to the next tier, I have the players I consider building block. This is the tier that I'm putting Josh Giddey in. I think he will be instrumental to how the team is put together in the future. I think he has the possibility to move into the untouchable cornerstone tier, but I have enough questions right now about how he continues to grow his game as a scorer that I'm more comfortable with him right here after year 1. I also have Lu Dort in this tier. He's a fan favorite and an important defensive fixture of this team, but Dort may warrant his own video because I feel like the offensive development he showed was largely opportunity based. He has underwhelming percentages on his jumper from 3 to 10 feet. He was a bit of a ball stopper this year, and he's giving you 2 assists with 2 turnovers. So I hope next year sees him in a smaller role as a defensive specialist with limited offensive responsibilities. I also have Tre Mann here because his shot making is kind of wild. His 3-point shooting should get him in lineups with Giddey and SGA because he has the gravity to give them some more space to work with on their drives. He also does enough off the bounce that I could see him siphoning off some of Dort's usage if OKC doesn't draft another ball handler. Development isn't always linear, but his 3-point shooting consistency is at the top of my watch list with Mann because this team that was ranked 30th in 3-point percentage could really use a bump from him. Lastly, I have Darius Bazley, and depending on the day of the week, he might be in this tier or the one below it. In fact, I could easily see him packaged in a draft day deal to open up a roster spot or add other talent. Baze was disappointing to start the year, but after moving to the bench and embracing that role, it was a tale of 2 seasons. He has found his stride as a defender, and his size allows OKC to throw him on the wings that are just too tall for Dort. Bazley is switchable, and he's looked pretty nice as a backup 5. His lack of a jumper hurts him at the forward, but at the center, he shoots it often enough that if he can get a slower footed center to stunt at him on a closeout, he's opening up a lane downhill. Pretty much every other young prospect left falls into my boomer bust tier. I don't think that they are hugely important to future roster decisions, but they are young players who can still boom, and it doesn't kill you if they bust. I give some consideration to moving JRE and Aaron Wiggins up, and I remain lower on Pokusevski than most OKC fans, it seems, but I think it's fair to say that no one would be shocked if in 3 to 5 years none of the players in this tier were still around on this roster. Definitely still an all-around good year for player development. You find a Josh Giddey, Trey Mann, JRE, and Aaron Wiggins. There's interesting talent in this franchise's G League system, and the best player on the team finished the year strong, so you will take that as a rebuilding team. The caveat, though, is that you only have the 4th best lottery odds. Last year's Thunder draft pick, Josh Giddey, is coming off of an impressive rookie year in his own right, but as I watch the Rookie of the Year race tighten up at the end of the season, I am reminded of how badly OKC wanted to be in the position to draft Mobley, Barnes, or Cade, if not trade down for more assets if their faith in Giddey was that high. No knock on Giddey, as a good of a pick as he is, the best place to be in the draft is at the top. That's where you get all the choices, and I'm not going to pretend to be a draft expert. In fact, I'll be inviting one to guest on the show with me around the draft time to talk about OKC's choices after the lottery results. But last year proved to me that other teams won't be as willing to trade down out of franchise level prospects in exchange for a package of future first round picks from Sam Presti. That will make the draft lottery as exciting and chaotic of an event as it usually is, but when that settles down, it is assuring that OKC has a GM with such a good track record in these positions. You want to be at the top, but it matters what you do when you get there. This is my favorite part about analyzing a rebuilding team. You always need to check back in and reanalyze. It's why I've enjoyed doing this series so much, and you can expect another episode around the draft lottery. If that interests you, subscribe so you can be notified about future videos coming out. You can also find me on a few social media platforms for inside looks at upcoming videos and reactions to live games and transactions. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and comment giving me your thoughts on this most recent season of Thunder basketball. That's all I have for you in this one. So thank you for watching, and enjoy the rest of your day.